Hello guys and welcome to Lift. This is Danny, I'm Lucy, and today we are going through a 45-minute workout focused on strength. So we're going to go through 3 blocks of work today. Each will be in a tricep format. So that's going to be one exercise that we do for 12 reps, 10 to 12 reps, and then 2 exercises straight after that for 30 seconds each. We're then going to repeat each of those sets 3 times before moving on to the next, working our whole body, and then we're going to end with a finisher. So we're going to head in to 10 minutes of mobility and some activation just using body weight. Then we're going to move on. You can either use kettlebells and stay with Danny, or you can use dumbbells and stay with me. Let's get going. All right, so we're going to start heels outside our hips. We're going to squat, walk out into a plank and walk back up to the squat. Find your rhythm, find your pace, and let's go. So we're going to squat down, we walk out, brace your core, walk back onto your heels and rise. And again, so taking it into a squat, walking it out, bracing your core, back onto your heels and rise. Now when you feel ready, just add a push-up as you get into that plank. So here, into a push-up, walking back onto your heels, lift your chest and rise. So you should feel your core, you should feel your glutes and your quads. So you can push up on your knees if you need to. That's completely okay. Let's take it to 1 more rep, Danny. Let's come all the way back up. And we're going to go down again to the plank, just holding the plank now. So from this plank position, shoulders down away from your ears, nice long spine. Bring your left heel to your left hand, stretching. Reach it up. Place it down, step it back, and switch to the other side. So you should feel this stretch in your hip. You should feel it in your upper body as you reach your arm back behind you. I need you to keep moving through here. So we're looking for dynamic mobility to prepare the body. Well done, guys. The heart rate should be ever so slowly lifting. Keep pushing your shoulders down and trying to keep a nice long spine. 1 more rep on each side. We're going to stay in this plank position and we're going to warm up the side of the glutes in a dynamic pigeon. So we're going to cross our leg into the front of our body. Find that stretch. As soon as you've got that stretch, you can thread it back and switch. The more upright you can get your body, the more you'll feel that stretch. Thread it back. Great job. So we are going to be working our whole body today, so it's important that we really do mobilize every single joint in our whole body. 1 more rep on each side. Great job. Coming onto all fours. So we're going to warm up the inside of our thigh. So we're going to bring our right foot out to the side. Place the sole of your foot down onto the floor and just rock back and up again. So we're looking for 6 to 8 repetitions on this side, and then we're going to switch over to the other leg. Once again, keeping the shoulders down to relax your neck and trying to maintain a nice long spine to avoid arching. And let's switch sides now. Other side, trying to keep the sole of the foot down onto the floor. And you should feel this on the inside of your thigh. 2 more reps. Let's get a little bit of core activation. So back to our nice square position, into bird dog. So we're going for length here. So pick your left hand and your right foot, bring them out so you're as long as you can and squeeze them in underneath you. Same side again, going for length, and then squeezing in as hard as you can. Now, as you reach out for length, your back is going to try and arch. That's where I need you to pull your belly button up in towards your spine. Imagine I've put a golf ball on your back I need that golf ball to stay there and not roll off. Kicking your heel back as far as you can. 2 more reps. Core nice and braced, rib cage down, and place it down. Switch straight over to the other side. So find your own rhythm here. So you don't always have to stick with mine and Danny's speeds here. So Danny will find his rhythm, I'll find mine, you find yours. It's all about quality of movement. So really reach as far as you can. Try and kick your heel to the back of the room and squeeze nice and tight in the middle. Last rep, back into all fours. So we're going to stabilize the body here. I need you to just lift your knees 1 centimeter off the floor. So your knees are almost on the floor, but not quite. Your shoulders are down away from your ears once more, and you've got a nice flat back. So try not to move at all side to side. We're going to tap one hand onto our opposite shoulder. Now I hope you can see Danny and I are staying nice and stable. We're resisting any rotation using our core. So if you want a little bit more, you can speed it up, keeping your hands underneath your shoulders and keeping your knees nice and close to the floor and your body low. Let's take it for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Walking it back into a plank. Step it back, walk it back into a deep squat. From here, we're going to rise and we're going to continue with our squat. Great job. So let's find our technique here. So drive your weight into your heels, push your knees outwards, and squeeze your glutes at the top. As we squat, you should feel your abs, your core nice and tight. So we want to maintain a nice tight core, a nice neutral spine. Great job. Let's go for 3 more reps. 2 more reps. Last rep. Same thing, finding our technique, we're going to move into a reverse lunge. So we're going to alternate between left foot, right foot. Take it away. Long step back, drive up through your front heel. Great job. So you should feel this in your front leg only. Trying not to let our front knee slide forward. So we're warming up the muscles in whichever leg is the front one. 90-degree angle in both your knees. So drop your back knee straight down and let's really focus on that technique in our mobility phase. So we're ready when we're holding our weights. 5 seconds. Core still braced, hips nice and square. Last one here. Fantastic job. Our final bit of action before we start lifting heavy weights is to get the heart rate up just a touch and to activate those muscles in the back of our body and our core that little bit more. So Danny's going to be holding kettlebells. I'm going to be holding dumbbells and we're going to go to swings. So a kettlebell or a dumbbell swing is as follows. You need to keep your core braced, keep nice and tall and hinge back through the hip. So we don't drive through the knee, they'll be softly bent, it's through the hip. So we swing back, I'll just demonstrate a couple of reps. So hips go back, hips go forward, core stays tight. We're going to move through 12 reps at your own pace, short recovery, and then back in 3 sets, maximum effort. Let's get it done in 3, 2, and 1. 12 reps. Now Danny and I might go at different speeds, and that's okay. So Danny, when you've done 12, that's your cue to put your kettlebell down. Fantastic work. So you should feel this in the back of your body and your core. Our first big exercise today, our first compound lift, will be a deadlift. So we're working on that hip hinge pattern here. And rest. 1 down, 2 more sets to go. You ready? Let's go. Straight back in. So hips back, hips forward, hinging through the hips, activating your nervous system, getting the blood pumping. Great job. Don't forget to breathe. Counting 12 reps, keeping that weight as high as you can. I've got 2 to go. Okay, not much recovery here. Our last set. Let's do it. Core tight, hips back, let's go. So it's a maximum power squeeze using the muscles in the back of your legs. Still focusing on maintaining a tight core to protect your lower back. I've got 1 to go, and we are warm. Great, so from here, let's hit our first set of work, our first tricep. Our first exercise of our tricep, I'm looking for 10 to 12 reps. We're gonna move into a sumo deadlift. Danny is gonna be using kettlebells, I'm going to be using dumbbells. To demonstrate your move, sumo means your feet are wide. A deadlift is a hip hinge. So we have a soft bend in our knee, but we slide our hips back, keeping our shoulders down, and we stand tall using the back of the leg. 10 to 12 reps, then we're gonna head straight into a suitcase squat. So this time, our heels are gonna be under our hips, and we're gonna bend through the knee. Danny's gonna go full range, so his kettlebells are gonna go all the way to the floor, and I'm just gonna go half range as your slightly regressed option. Our third exercise will be an overhead press to work the upper body. Danny's gonna stay standing. I'm gonna give you an easier option, and I'm gonna come to a half kneel. You can use 1 dumbbell or 2 if you're with me, or you can stay with your kettlebells with Danny, standing up for a tougher option. Let's get going. Okay, so find your own pace. Heels a little wider than your squats. Sumo stance, taking it into a deadlift. So shoulders are down, core is tight, hips are gonna go back in 3, in 2, and in 1. So it's all about the squeeze on the way up. So we're trying to get as much of our weight back behind us as we can. So all your weight is in your heel, and this is working your posterior chain, so the muscles in the back of your legs. All about the way up. Now, if you've got really heavy weights, you can stop at 10 reps, or you can slow it down if you need to. I've got 2 to go. All right, Danny, let's head into 30 seconds of suitcase squats. So down and up. This time, we're bending through the knee, we're not hinging through the hip. And there's the difference between your squat and your deadlift. So push your rib cage down to protect your lower back. We want to keep a nice straight spine. Great job. 10 seconds remaining, and then we go into our overhead press. So legs are gonna get a recovery, and upper body's gonna get some action. In 4, 3, 2, 1. So Danny's going to stay standing. I'll be half kneeling, 30 seconds. Now, as we press those weights up, try not to lean back. So try and maintain that same neutral core, that same straight spine. Find your own pace and continue for 15 seconds. We're gonna get 45 seconds to recover when this move is done. Don't forget to breathe. Doing so well. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Nice work. So 45 seconds we've earned. Danny needs it, he's broken a sweat. Have you broken a sweat? Right, so we know what we're doing. We've got 2 more rounds of the same moves. So all about our technique here. If you do feel your technique is starting to fade, that's when you stop. So you should feel like you could do 1 or 2 more reps and then your technique would start to fade. That means your weights are correct for you. But if you do feel you're starting to slip, that's when you stop and just wait for us for our next exercise. Let's go back in, so feet wide, core tight. We'll start from the floor, so send your hips back, core tight, shoulders down away from your ears. All about the way up in 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze and bring it down. So how far back can you send your hips? All your weight is back behind your heels. 10 to 12 reps. Danny and I have 2 more reps to go. And we're gonna head straight in to our suitcase squat. So supersets, we want minimum rest between each move. Let's go, bend through the knee, 30 seconds. Trying to keep the chest up and that core braced. So you should now feel this in the front of your legs, as opposed to the back of your legs with that deadlift. Still driving up through the heel and trying not to let your knees dip inwards. Fantastic. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, overhead press time. Straight in as quick as you can, trying not to lean back. If you want a little bit more, you can keep a nice high elbow at the bottom of each rep. Just 30 seconds. Don't forget to breathe. Counting you out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That set flew by. 45 seconds to recover. Reset, shake out that upper body, catch your breath, and get ready for your final round. Final push here. This is the one that counts. This is the set that matters. Okay, 10 to 12 reps of your sumo deadlift coming back in. For the last time, grab your weights, get set, send your hips back. So are your knees back behind your elbows? Tuck your chin downwards to protect your neck, and let's go. Squeeze, send it down. So we focus more on the drive upwards with the deadlift here. We are halfway, 6 reps. Now remember, it's okay if you're not in time with Danny and I. We have 4 to go. Suitcase squat. So it's called a suitcase squat because I need you to imagine that you are picking up suitcases from either side of your body here. So if you were to pick up a heavy suitcase, you would keep that weight nice and close to your body to protect your back, right? Same as what we're doing here. Sending it back, imagining you're sitting down on a step behind you, standing up through the heels. Overhead press in 3, 2, and 1. So it's easier to kneel down as you're closer to the ground. So you've got less gravity working against you. So if you've got kettlebells, you can also stay with me and kneel. And if you've got dumbbells, you can stand as long as you don't have to lean back. Counting you out of here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me a high five, Danny. 1 down. Great job. Okay, so we're going to move on to a whole new set. Exactly the same structure. We're looking for 10 to 12 repetitions of your first move, each side this time. Then we're going to move on to 2 more exercises, each for 30 seconds. Let me demonstrate. Exercise 1 is a tough exercise, a renegade row. So you're in a plank working your core, holding everything still, and you're rowing, one arm only, to work the muscles in your back. So Danny's going to stay with kettlebells. I'm going to be using dumbbells. So we're in a plank, our shoulders are down. Remember guys, if you need to, you can just pop your knees to the floor. We're going to head into 10 reps, straight in on the left, elbow straight up to your armpit, and then 10 reps on your right. So we're pulling our elbow straight up and we're keeping our body square. So it's very tempting to twist through the hip. That's what we need to resist. That is the good thing about a renegade row. We're working our core the whole way through. From here, we're going to turn over into a glute bridge. So a glute bridge, I need you to put your weights onto your lap. Danny will be 1 leg glute bridge. I will be both leg glute bridge. So weights on our lap. We squeeze all the way up and half the way down. So this should feel similar to your deadlift with that hip hinge. Third and final exercise, we're still going to be down on the floor and we're going to head into a chest fly. So our chest fly, nice and wide with the elbows. Feet are on the floor, shoulders are down away from ears, weights are above the middle of our ribs, elbows go wide, drive those weights straight up. Let's get it done. So, into a plank, 10 repetitions on the left, 10 repetitions on the right, a renegade row. Let's do it. So find that nice solid plank position, squeeze your glutes, shoulders down, and let's head into our left arm. So we've got 10 reps. The only thing moving right now, third space, is your elbow coming up towards your armpit. If you need an easier option, you can widen your feet, or you can put your knees onto the floor to take the pressure away from your core. 2 to go, and we switch sides. Fantastic. So if you're using kettlebells with Danny, you're also having to use your chest muscles and your shoulders to stabilize you. So that is a tough option right there. So if you need to hit only 8 reps, that's completely okay. 2 more reps for me. Well done, Danny. Great job. Into our glute bridge now. So giving those arms a rest. Single leg with Danny, or if you're new to this game, stay on both legs with me. Secure those weights so they don't roll back. Lift your hips and bring it down. So I want you to still brace your core here. So how do you know if you're still bracing your core? It will stop you over rounding your back. So if your core is nice and tight, right at the top, you should not be able to go any higher. So imagine you're pushing ribs down towards your hips and you're squeezing as high as you can through your glutes. 5 seconds for me. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Into our chest fly. So you can stay exactly as you are. Bringing those weights up above the middle of your rib cage, shoulders are down, and let's go 30 seconds. This is a big muscle. Let's work it hard. Sculpting our upper body. Don't forget to breathe at the top. Elbows nice and wide, spread your wings. So make sure those weights are not above your face or your shoulders. That's a little too high. 10 seconds. Can you bring your elbows any wider? 3, 2, and rest. Excellent job, Danny. So Danny had his feet lifted off the floor to get a little bit of extra core. So he had to stabilize himself using his core, whereas my feet were on the floor, giving me a helping hand. Fantastic. So our 45 seconds to recover is now. We have 2 more rounds to go. So remember, if you feel your technique starting to get compromised, cut your rep number down. So quality over quantity with strength and conditioning. So if you don't get to 10 reps, that is no problem. You guys know how you're feeling. Shall we? Let's do it. Into a plank. Squeeze every muscle you possibly can. Left side, 10 reps. How lightly can you place those weights back down again? Keeping that elbow nice and close to your body. 2 to go. And onto the other side now, elbow straight up. All comes from the core. Strength all comes from the core, so we want to use as many exercises which work our core as we possibly can. 1 more rep. Yes, nice work. Back to those legs now. Into the glute bridge. If you're with Danny, you need to use the opposite leg for this set. So find whichever leg hasn't worked, and that is the one you go for right now. Straight up, brace your core, and let's go. Trying to avoid your bottom touching the floor. So squeezing upwards. Nice long spine. So you should have a straight line at the top from your knee, through your hip to your shoulder, and no higher than that. Five seconds. 4, 3, 2, and you're ready for that chest fly. So bring those weights up, middle of the ribs. And let's do this, 30 seconds. Nice and wide through the elbows. So this is a fly rather than a press. So a press is a little narrower, and a fly will work deeper into the pectoralis muscles as you widen your elbows. Don't forget to breathe at the top. Fill the tank at the top. Great job. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for luck. Nice. That is 2 sets down and just 1 to go. So 1 more push, 1 more run through each of those moves, and you have reached your 3rd and final set of lift today. We know what we're doing. We're experts right now. Let's continue to maintain our technique through that strong core. Remember, you can stay on your knees whenever you need to. Let's get it done. Left side, 10 reps in 3, 2, and 1. So this should be the toughest set. Now your body's starting to fatigue. Stay strong, it's all in your mind. Doing so well. We're gonna feel pretty good when we've done this, right? Last 2. And switch to the other side now. Almost there. I've got 4 to go. Yes, fantastic. Straight into our glute bridge. So this time, Danny's gonna do 15 seconds on one side. He's gonna switch 15 seconds on the other. Stay with me. We're on both of your legs now. So squeeze it up and half the way down. Tough after that deadlift. And Danny's gonna switch legs. We are halfway. Still maintaining core, whatever you're doing. The most important message from today. Our chest flies coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, easy transitions. For the last time, let's sculpt that upper body. Shoulders are down, elbows come wide. So drive the shoulders down into the floor. Elbows can come all the way down to the floor. Now, if you want to intensify this, slow it down a touch. Often it's more tricky and more energy, less energy efficient to slow it down. So those muscles will work a little bit harder with the more time under tension. Counting us out of here in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Another one down. Okay, up you come. We have one final set of work. Now this time, we're gonna be holding a single weight, and we're gonna be using our core to keep ourselves square whilst working one side of our body. We're then gonna switch as we hit the next set. So one heavy weight. I'm gonna hold the weight in my left hand. Danny's also gonna hold the weight in his left hand. And our first move will be a reverse lunge. So if we're holding the weight in our left hand, we step the opposite leg back. So we always work contralaterally. So the front leg is working, so the weight is in the opposite hand. So we're going to head into 12 reverse lunges as our first compound lift. From here, we move into a side lunge. So we're gonna side lunge as our second move for 30 seconds, holding the same weight in the same hand, driving out of that leg which just lunged. Our third and final move, we're back down, working the back and the core once more into a lat pullover. So heaviest dumbbell you've got, hold onto it nice and tight. Danny's gonna be squeezing his kettlebell, making sure he's careful with it and it doesn't slip and fall on him. Danny's gonna lift his feet. I'm gonna keep mine on the floor. Keeping my arms nice and straight, reaching all the way back and straight up. Let's do it. Up you get. Ready, set. So clear some space if you need to. Pick up the weight in your left hand and let's work our right leg. Reverse lunges in 3, 2, and 1. So it's a long step back. Same again. So the only leg we're working right now is the front leg. The back leg is just moving out the way. 90-degree angle in both your knees. So make sure that weight stays close to your front foot. 4 more reps. We keep the same weight in the same hand and we step out to the right for 30 seconds. Let's go, Danny. That away. So all the way down, and then we drive through that same leg, which should now be feeling it. So I need you to slide your hips back, keeping your chest up. So we want to avoid leaning downwards with our chest, so our body's upright. Five seconds, and we've made it to our lat pullover. In 3, 2, and 1. Transition back down for me. So remember, it's okay if we all do this at different paces. It's going to depend on you, your current fitness levels, and the weights that you're working with. So keeping the elbows nice and straight, keeping the shoulders down, we reach that weight nice and far back, and we drive it back up. If you're lifting your feet with Danny, I need you to keep your lower back glued to the floor. So keep your ribs downwards, keep your shoulders tucked down into the floor towards your heels, and try and make sure your arms aren't bending too much, otherwise we risk using our triceps instead of our lats. Last 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. That is our third set. One round down. Excellent job. We're gonna run through the same movements this time on the other side. So we're gonna hold the weight in our right hand. We're gonna lunge, working the left leg, and then we're gonna side lunge out to the other side this time. Nice and heavy, hips stay square. Let's get it done. Let's lunge, 12 reps. Now you may find one of your legs is stronger than the other, so one might feel tougher than the other. Even more important to level that playing field and to make sure we work your strong leg just as much as your weak leg. We are halfway, driving through the front heel, keeping your core braced. Two more reps, Danny. Great job. Reset those legs, and we're gonna lunge to the side, working the glute med. Let's go. So it's really important that we don't neglect side to side lateral exercises here. So often we do a lot of running, a lot of cycling, a lot of squatting. That's all in one plane of motion. We go down and up, or we go forward and back. But it's very important that we also work side to side to work these muscles in the side of our glutes. So driving straight out of the heel of the leg, coming out to the side. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if your weights are too light and you need a little kick more, you can hold both of your weights and you can squeeze them together as I'm about to show you for your pullover. So 30 seconds, bring those weights back and drive them up. The whole of your upper body should now be working hard. Can you reach any further back? Last 10 seconds. Don't let it get you now. You've made it this far. We've only got one more push. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. So it's all about learning what weights get you to that limit. So you might find actually you've gone too heavy, or you might find that you reckon you can do a little bit more. That's all about progression. So we need to find the weight selection that kind of pushes us to our almost maximum so that we don't lose technique, but we feel like we could probably only do one more rep and then we'd be a bit cooked. That takes time to figure out. So if you're new to me today, I hope you're learning a lot about yourself here. Okay, so one more set. This last set, we're gonna alternate. So holding one weight in each hand will be a little bit tougher, double the weight, but we get to alternate our lunges and alternate our side lunges. One final push. Let's go. So we're gonna go for 12 lunges, 6 on each leg, straight in. So once again, trying to avoid your front knee sliding forward. So we lunge down and up, not forward and back, to avoid putting pressure behind your knee. Danny and I are halfway. Push that front knee outwards. You should be able to see your big toe on the inside of your knee at the bottom. 4 to go. Last 2 here. Last one. Into our side lunges to the right side first. Let's go. Slide the hips back and onto the other side now. Perfect. So this is where we really determine if we have one strong and one ever so slightly weaker leg. Always train the weaker leg to even up any differences. Last 5 seconds, sliding your weight back behind you, keeping your chest proud. 3, 2, and 1. Down into that lat pullover. focusing on the muscles in your back, remember? So if you're with Danny, get that contact back into the floor, arms nice and straight, and reach back. So this is a great exercise if you're chasing your pull-up progression here. Working the muscles in your back, keeping the shoulders down for stability, using the floor to regress. 10 seconds. Keep breathing at the top. Fight for these last reps. 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic job. Okay, so our heavy lifting is almost complete. We have one final piece of work, which is a finisher. So we're gonna take it to 30 seconds of a ground to an overhead. That's gonna work all the muscles we've just worked, deplete them, and use the last bit of energy stores we've got. 30 seconds of each exercise with just a 15-second recovery between. So 3 rounds, a ground to overhead. Danny's gonna stick with his kettlebell. I'm gonna stick with dumbbells. You can hold 1 or 2 to the ground, overhead, sliding hips back, keeping the core braced. 30 seconds, let's do this, Danny. Good luck. This is when it counts. Counting us in 3, 2, and 1. Ground, overhead, hips back. So just imagine someone's about to punch you in the stomach and you're ready for that blow. That is how you know your core is braced. We only have 10 seconds remaining. Not the time to give up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 15 seconds to recover. 1 down, 2 to go. Stay with me, it will be worth it. You're gonna feel fantastic in 1 minute's time. Let's get it done. 5, 4, ground, overhead, let's go. 1 weight is okay if you're starting to lose your technique. Feel the shoulders, feel the back of the legs, feel the core. And rest. 15 seconds to rev yourself up for your final push. You've been absolutely incredible. You've made it all the way, almost. Let's finish strong, Danny. Let's do this. Come on, third space. Let's go. If we can, you can, right? In 3, 2, 1. Finish strong. Seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic work, well done. Another high five, we've earned it. Super quick stretch, and then we are absolutely complete. So we're gonna start with a quad stretch. Straight in, squeezing the knees together, pushing the hips forward. So I would recommend you stretch for longer when you finish with this workout. So a little bit of extra stretching would be fantastic. Switch legs. We're just going to go through the basic stretches for the muscles which have worked hard today. And release. Just fold down and reach to your toes, stretching out the back of the leg. Pull upwards from your toes to get that stretch in the upper body and slowly rise. And shake it out. Fantastic job, guys. That was lift. This is Danny. I'm Lucy. I hope you enjoyed your workout today, and I hope we see you again soon for another one. One final high five. Thank you so much.